Are you serious? Are you serious, folks? How in the world do we literally survive these changing times? And certainly you can't deny the times are changing. It seems like all over the world, look, there's been this incredible events taking place. Just in the last couple days, we've had a river turn blood red in Indonesia. It's snowing in Jerusalem. We have a plague of locusts that just covered Mecca. And a hailstorm yesterday came down in South Africa in Swaziland and killed a herd of cows. And now I'm not even going to bring up all the dead birds and dead fish and everything else. In other words, these are simple things to see have got to be biblical almost to the point. I mean, these are apocalyptic. And then there's the problem with our health. Look at the cancer rates. Look at the people with high blood pressure, sugar diabetes, all these different things that are affecting our body. And if you think it all the way through, how in the world do we survive in these changing times? Well, we've decided to get an expert and bring him in to help us understand it all. And so today, Ronnie McMullen's with us, our good friend from GetTheT.com. Ronnie, how you doing today?
How you doing, Pastor?
I'm doing great and just blessed of the Lord. And it's getting crazy. We got a blood moon in 3 days, Ronnie. It's getting crazy out here.
I know. There's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, times are changing, and we need to be buckled in on these changes, or we might fall out of the casket car.
It's easy for, I guess, me talking about the end times and talking about all these different plagues and apocalyptic and volcanic eruptions and earthquakes and tornadoes and whatever. But a lot of times the problem we got, I think, is what we can't see. And I don't think we're preparing. I mean, I got to start with me first. I don't think I'm preparing for the viruses, the flus, the sicknesses, and a lot of stuff that's out there. And can you help us all understand what we need to do in these times?
Well, I think the first thing we need to do is take our health back. In other words, we be in charge of our health. We kind of rely on our doctors maybe a little too much. And when I say that, what I mean is somebody comes up and the doctor says, well, you have 6 months to live. Instead of saying, I'm going to get a second opinion on that. And how in the heck does that doctor know that you have 6 months to live? So if we're at that point, we're also at the point when we've been trained with, you know what, I think I've got sniffles and a cough, and I'll just get some antibiotics, which is meaning anti-life, bio-life, so anti-life. So when you take these pills, yes, it kills all the stuff that needs to go away, but they forget to tell you that it kills everything that doesn't need to go away. All your good stuff dies too. So then your immune system is again hacked, which is what we talk about on the show many times with the air and the water quality. We're being hacked on our immune system. So when our immune system's down, and this even goes to sleep and exercise, when our immune system's down, we catch every bug this side of the Pecos. And, with places like Lab 257, there's all kinds of stuff where they're creating germs. So we need to really be proactive in fighting this and taking our own health in our own hands and saying, I'm going to do something about this. I'm not just going to trust the medical establishment that's imploding like a wet taco. I'm going to trust myself and say, what am I going to take for immune? What am I going to take for this? What am I going to take for that? And that is how I think we can start combating some of this.
It's a great point, because if we don't get proactive and get out ahead of these things, we got to understand the food is not the same as it was when I was growing up as a kid. And the medical approach is not the same. It used to be doctors gave you antibiotics or gave you any kind of prescription when it was absolutely necessary. And I never heard of anybody living with a handful of pills every morning. So something's out of whack. And it's easy for me to tell people, look, you need to pray, you need to trust in the Lord. And it's easy for me to show them the locusts in Mecca or water turning blood red. And you need to understand these are the end days. But it's hard to get it across that we're killing ourselves sometimes with just simply what we eat and breathe. Isn't it true, Ronnie?
Absolutely. And, it's interesting. They kind of, the Western medicine looks at our heart and I think this is really interesting, especially if people are spiritual. They look at the heart as a mechanic. In other words, something that is just an engine part, never realizing that the heart goes much deeper. In fact, just a writing, this is kind of interesting. It says, heart, mere physical organ, how we see the heart. We think with our heads, not our heart. The heart has its own intelligence. It knows what to do without orders from the brain. So the heart is much more, I mean, if you look at the heart, how we think and how we feel is coming from the heart. In fact, this is a kind of a known fact when they do heart transplants, sometimes when that person gets that new heart, if the person that it came from loved flowers, the new person receiving the heart all of a sudden loves flowers. How can that be if it's just a mechanical pump? So it's not. There's more to it. And so Western medicine, I guess what I'm saying here, is missing it, in my opinion. And, you know, I'm not just about supplements. I think supplements are awesome, but many times I've talked about physical education. I've talked about, you know, emotional education, things that we can do. And I've chased, you know, Paul, I've chased every rabbit trail there is, learning how to get well. What does that mean? And I finally found a couple of answers and went to my doctor. And I don't, you know, how do I say this? I respect him as a doctor, but his bedside manners are terrible. And so I saw him in my, you know, I had my eyes checked and my eyes were 40 to 50% better. And he was looking at me and he was like, well, let me check this out and check that out. And I'm like, okay. So he checks it all out. And I said, you know what, Doc, aren't you, I mean, because all of the graphs, everything that, you know, all the computers said, this is where your eyes are. And he's like, you know, I said, Doc, isn't it interesting you have not asked me how I got better? Because obviously it's not your drugs. Yeah. And he looked at me and he goes, okay, so how did you get better? I said, well, I'm not going to tell you because you really don't want to know. And then he kind of looked at me and he says, no, really, how to get better? So I told him, and then he's looked at me and I said, I think what I'm telling you, because one was homeopathics, and I said, you know, homeopathics is one of them. And I said, but I think you call that quackery. He says, I do. We call it quackery because there's no results. And I said, well, seems to me that's not a truth anymore now, is it? He didn't want to say anything.
No, do you think, obviously the pharmaceutical industry is dictating now, the insurance industry is dictating how medicine is being done, and you have to clear everything in advance, and these doctors are down to just prescription to send you to a specialist. So in this changing times, I mean, in this times where, look, there's something, look, I've talked to many people about weather modification. We got extreme jet streams are shifting. There's no question about this. There's been 5 articles out in the last week of the magnetic North Pole is shifting more than normal. I mean, the world is ever changing. The temperatures, the ocean is almost 4 degrees warmer than normal. There's so many, and yet there's blizzards everywhere. So, look, those are physical things we can see. Those are even prophesied in the Bible are going to happen. But what we can't see might kill us, and we've got to get out ahead of it. And so I think what you're doing is you're taking control of your health. Is that right? Do we need to take control of our own health?
We do, and we need to see what's good for us, and we need to see what's not good for us. And you know what? It's not just Western medicine. Western medicine is actually behind the curve. In fact, there was an article that came out that said basically our frequency that we run in right now with the health of the trees and the birds and our own bodies is 7.83 hertz. So in 2014, that frequency went up to 25 hertz. Just so you know, when it goes up that high, it had a day that it went up to 25 hertz. When it goes up that high, what you feel is stress and chaos and everything else. Then in 2017, that frequency went up to 36 plus hertz. So this is not something you walk outside and you go, oh, I can see that. I can see that going on. Yep, this is not good. That's something you can't see. So we need to be protecting ourselves. We have a 3-foot bubble around us, and this is a science fact as well. So we have a 3-foot bubble. So the more we put our brain into power and allow it to do what it needs to do, and let our heart, which is the second brain, kick in and do great things. This is why the placebo effect. This is why a lot of the pharmaceutical companies cannot even beat the placebo, because the power of the brain is stronger than their stupid drug in a pill.
And you bring up the fact that when there's a heart transplant, people all of a sudden eat different foods, remember different things. And it's a proven fact that the heart is more than just a mechanical beating muscle. It has memory. And that's even biblical, because the Lord tells you to hide these things in your heart, okay? I mean, we might say, well, it didn't really mean physical heart. No, I'm telling you, I think the physical heart participates. The whole DNA of our body participates. You can talk to your body and tell it, look, it's time. Come into alignment. Pain go away. And you'll be surprised the power we have over a physical body. But you know what? You've come out with a brand new product that I'm dying, because I got it here, Nopal cactus. I was looking at it, and I've did some research. I noticed that there's some people are saying it can improve your sleep. It can build strong bones. That there's a lot of different potential benefits. So can you tell us a little bit about why you come out with this new product called Nopal cactus?
Well, cactus is it's from the prickly pear, which can also help with balancing your blood sugars. It also helps with cholesterol levels, and the big thing, and by the way, it's on sale. But the big thing is digestion. It's really, really good for digestion. So, and it also can help boost your immune system, which, quite honestly, we were talking about that all these things that are playing havoc with us are taking our immune system down, so that the common cold, we could end up with pneumonia out of it. This is something where we need to get up. The colostrum's another issue that we can take to get our immune system up. But this Nopal cactus will help with the immune system and digestion. And of course, it's got a little bit of coral calcium in it, which is great because of blood pressure and energy levels and all that kind of stuff. So it's a nice blend, and of course, it's a really, I call a blowout sale right now. So it makes it really fun to get it. And by the way, before we get carried away, because I know I like to talk, so it gets kind of crazy, I want to let all your listeners know that, and all your watchers know that they get free shipping if they put Paul in the coupon code.
All right. Okay. So just put Paul in the coupon code, and the shipping's free on any order.
On any order.
Just put it, folks. Just do that. Put right in the coupon code. Put Paul, and the shipping will be free on any order. And I know there's some of you out there who want to you got to get your tea, okay? You got to get the tea. Matter of fact, pick up the phone and call the number on the screen right there, 928-308-0408, if you want to call in an order, or go to his website at www.getthetea.com. That's www.getthetea.com. We're talking with Ronnie McMullen. And folks, again, as we've been discussing here, these plagues that are taking place around the world, I mean, this plague of locusts that hit Mecca is one of the strangest things I've ever seen. And then this hailstorm in Swaziland in South Africa, killing an entire herd of cows. Rivers turning blood red in Indonesia. And of course, folks, there's a blood moon on the 20th of January, a super blood wolf moon. It's like an apocalyptic era is upon us. But I want to stop from it and say, but do we realize the apocalypse of chemtrails, of GMO food we're eating, of arsenic in the water? I mean, Ronnie, we got to have some help on how to combat some of these things if we're going to survive these times.
It goes back to taking control of our health. So if you're in a war, and we are in a war, there's other countries saying that what our own country's doing to us is genocide. There's articles up that you can pull up that talk about that. So if we're going to go to war, we go to the front lines. We don't have any kind of weapon. We have no gun. We have no knife. We have no nothing. And we go, okay, stop it, guys. Stop it right now. Stop that. They're just going to kill us. So what is our weapon? No, not a gun and not a knife. Our weapon is to take care of our body. I can't tell you how many people, and this is really sad, that are diabetic that don't check their blood. I am like blown away. Well, it's expensive and it's this and give your excuses all you want. If that blood keeps going high, you could have a stroke, you could have a heart attack, you could lose your eyesight. I can go on and on and on. And I don't, somebody bought the Takedown tea and we always ask, how you doing with the product? And so we said, how's it going? Well, I think it's working. Well, how do you think it's working? You should take your blood, you should drink the tea, and then take your blood again, see if it moves it. And if you're not doing that, then how do you know? And this is something where we need to be very much in charge. People don't realize that if you work out just a little bit, your digestion starts moving. So guess what? It makes it optimum for supplements. So, a lot of times when we take a supplement, if we're not really doing anything, we're just sitting on the couch, watching TV, take a supplement. Okay, I'm better now. Probably not, because nothing in your digestion's moving, so that pill's not going to open up and do its job. But if you have some kind of digestion issue going, like drink a lot of water, walk around, take a walk around the block, things like that, it's huge. It changes everything. And let me tell you, when your health goes, everything you ever dreamed about goes.
It is true. And you can't just say, well, I'll pop this supplement and everything will be fine. You got to change what you're eating. You got to start the exercising. You got to get focused on what's going on and get plenty of rest. I mean, Ronnie, there's a lot of folks out there, Ronnie, work second shift, work midnights. We call it the graveyard shift. There's a reason that we call it the graveyard shift. Okay. So, yeah. So, yeah, you're right. The supplements help a lot with the food we eat, but the tea, if you get the tea, drink the tea, it helps flush out, keep you clean, keep you moving, keep things going. And by the way, tastes great. I'm just going to say it again. But, Ronnie, not everybody understands the chemtrails. Some people don't even believe in it, although it's been documented time and time again. And these kinds of things people are facing. I tell you to pray. I tell you to be focused, pray, and trust the Lord. And if you're out there watching right now, if you want to leave some questions in the chat room, do it right now so that we can address those. Ronnie would love to. And I can tell you, getthetea.com, they want to help you in your physical health and even the mental health. I mean, is there anything that you got there that can help me out with my forgetfulness or stuff like that, Ronnie? What can you do?
No, actually, believe it or not, the tea kind of helps clear things up a little bit because it gives you energy. And I wanted to go back to you said some people don't even believe that chemtrails are going on, or we call them chemtrails, we call it geoengineering. They have 1,000 names, climate control. It is going on. There's a document put out by the Air Force, 2025, Owning the Weather by 2025. If you ever want to know about chemtrails and you need extensive scientific facts, which is kind of where I go, Carnicom.com is incredible. They have huge companies, Air Force Base, Pentagon. They all look at his website, and even pharmaceutical companies. Now, when pharmaceutical companies are looking at Clifford Carnicom at Carnicom.com, they're wanting to see if he's exposing the fact that they might be putting viruses in these planes and dropping viruses and flu bugs and everything else. And could they be working with the pharmaceutical companies for vaccines? And this goes deep, 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 deep. But if you just are at a point where you're like, oh, I just think that's conspiracy, well, you better think again. Carnicom.com will give you scientific facts.
Wow. Ronnie, one of the questions that's come up that people are asking is all of your supplements organic? Or is there any caffeine, or is it all organic? Can you tell us a little bit about the compounds that maybe are being used?
Yeah, it's all the products are organic if they can be. Now, if they're an extract, you can't legally have a organic extract. So if it's an extract, then they're not organic. But they still might be, but the process is done differently so that you can't say they are, if that makes any sense. So if it's an extract, then it's no. But we try to use as much as we can, and there's certain sorbic acid is not organic. So there's certain things that are not organic because they can't be. It's not like you go, well, here's some lettuce and it's organic, and here's some lettuce and it's not. It doesn't work like that. When you're dealing with supplements, you have to. There's a whole FDA rules and regulations and everything, and so we try to use organic products as much as possible, and definitely non-GMO, so that we don't have put yuck stuff into our people.
Folks, this is Ronnie McMullen. Ronnie McMullen from GetTheTea.com. You can pick up the phone if you'd like to call in an order at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Or go to his website and just place an order. If you use, on the coupon code, if you use Paul, all shipping's free. You need to do that. Just use, on the coupon code, type Paul. All shipping will be free then. And go to GetTheTea.com. Ronnie, so, okay, I understand things are changing. Things are evolving. The government's still shut down. I mean, okay. By the way, breaking news, President Trump just canceled Nancy Pelosi's airline flight to the Middle East or to Europe and to overseas because she was going to use a special military plane. He said, we can't afford that. We have a shutdown. So there's some gamesmanship going on. A lot of people are worried about that. A lot of folks are not getting paid. So, Ronnie, stress levels couldn't be higher. What do you recommend here? Is it Get the Tea? I mean, is there a supplement? What should we do for stress?
Okay, stress is good. This is good. And this will be really good because this is going to be free. This will be free. So if you're stressed out of your mind, there's probably a few things you can take. I don't really have a stress relief because I don't feel they really fully work unless they're like a drug.
You got that ocean sleep, though. You do have that ocean sleep.
Yes, the ocean sleep, and it will rest you a little bit. But the best thing for stress is a walk in the forest, is a walk on the water, walking on the beach, or just walking in nature. It's a wonderful, wonderful stress reliever. You have to have your eyes with your body connect with something different. So you've got to get your mind to quit thinking about whatever's stressing you out. So if it's a family issue, or it's a work issue, or a financial issue, and you just keep thinking about it, that's what's going to stress you. And believe it or not, stress can actually throw your back or your neck out, your hip. So this actually moves. Stress can actually, are you ready for this? Inflame your body and move bones and move them. So that's why you'll be out of adjustment.
So in other words, you get out of alignment and then you start pinching nerves or you... Yep. And then migraines. I'm talking to people all the time. Migraines, that could also be a part of that, couldn't it?
Yep. In fact, I tell you this just from my own personal. If you got migraines, you might want to be looking at your tailbone. I know that sounds really crazy, but if you're anybody that's having panic attacks out there, you might want to be looking at your tailbone. So when you have your tailbone out of whack, which means you fell on your butt one time, you had an accident, whatever the case may be, it actually pulls all the way up your back and pulls on your neck and can actually stress you out to where it's pulling on you so hard that it feels like your head is in a vice. So you might want to go to a chiropractor and say, hey, can you check my tailbone? And it's a little uncomfortable, a little weird, but he'll kind of reach back there, or she'll reach back there. And if it's twisted a little bit, if it's over to the left or over to the right, it can cause certain things to happen. So you might just get a chiropractic adjustment and be free and ready to go again. So it could be that simple.
You know, Ronnie, I was in a car accident, broke my neck years ago, and ruptured 9 discs. And I still have a lot of neck pain. I have to prop pillows and do all kinds of stuff, but not as much as it used to be. I've been to the chiropractor, and they put you in those tables and they just drop it. You know, it always freaked me out.
Yeah, drop tables are a little crazy, but it does take the pressure off your bones. Yeah. Where if they don't have a drop table, then it's just the force of their hands against your bones. And depending on the doctor, that can be quite tough sometimes. And, you know, sometimes they're really good, but sometimes they're not. So chiropractic care has been changing. I kind of like the gentle routine because it kind of goes against the word force. I do not think anybody should be forced into anything. So when it's gentle, then your body, this is the thing, Paul, your body wants to heal itself. So sometimes it just needs a little love so that chiropractor just can barely touch your back and then you'll click, it'll go right in. Why? Because your body originally wanted to go in. So it just needs a little love, and that's all we really need.
That's love is all we need. I think that was a Beatles song. I'm not sure, but well, anyway, I'm so glad you brought that up because I don't want to drop off those tables no more. Can I ask you about some of the people have been asking me acupuncture? Ronnie, how do you feel about acupuncture? Is that a part of this holistic medicine that maybe we do need to look at?
You know, I tried it, and there's a couple things it did for me, but I would say as a whole, yes, it's very good because it's all about meridian lines and energy lines. And it sounds like kind of quackery sometimes, but this is what I'm learning. The more that I'm learning about medicine, the more I'm learning that going to, the regular hospital urgent care, that's quackery. So going back to, the energy lines and all of that, I would say absolutely yes to that. The Chinese knew what they were doing, and when they poke your foot and it can do something over here, and they poke your arm and it can do something over here, I think that's really fascinating, and it can do a lot of good for you. So yes.
Okay, now, folks, this is Ronnie McMullen, GetTheT.com. Again, you can go to his website, place an order. If you do, on the coupon, put my name, Paul. Just put my name, Paul. Automatically, your shipping will be free. If you can call your order in, if you want to dial 928-308-0408. And he's running some specials right now. He just told you he's got on sales this brand new product, Nopal cactus, that can do a lot of good things for you and help you in many ways. Sugar, blood pressure, continue to help you as far as digestive needs. But Ronnie, what other sales are you running right now? What are you recommending today?
I got another sale going on that I think is really good, which is niacin, peppermint super tea, and bilberry. So bilberry loves your eyes. I got to be careful how I say things. Niacin opens up your blood vessels and dilates them and lets things pass through. So it's really good for clearing up your blood vessels. So that's really, to me, is a powerful thing. And of course, then it's got turmeric in it, and it's a lot of good things for the heart. So really, kind of it loves your heart, loves your circulation, and then the tea. I mean, do we have to say more here? I mean, the tea is like, if you don't have the tea, what are you doing? I mean, That's just what I'll say.
That's a
the peppermint tea, I think, tastes really wonderful. So you get all three of them for a pretty heavy discount. So, and then of course you put in that coupon code Paul, no shipping. So, and that's not going to last forever. So you want to definitely hook up with the free shipping thing. It's kind of cool. Even if you just buy one or two things, it's free shipping as long as you put that coupon code in there.
And folks, listen, one thing about Ronnie and his company, great people, Christian company, family owned. And look at this, 928, call the number, 928-308-0408, GetTheT.com. And that's GetTheT.com. We love it. Sister Heidi and I, we drink the tea all the time. And we're constantly running out of the tea. I'm glad I just got two new bags here to get me through for a while. But really, it's very, very, it's good. It tastes good. It helps you. You feel cleansed. It helps with weight. I don't know if he's allowed to say that or not. I'll just tell you, it just helps you, okay? And so there's just a lot of good positive things. And I appreciate the fact that, Ronnie, you took the time to put these things together to help people with their health.
Well, it's important. It's important for our immune system. And, I like to help people. I have a radio show because I like to help people. I like to talk about the truth. So, as far as designing supplements and stuff, I go after and I try to target, I'll say, issues. I try to target issues so that we have an alternative. If you guys want to go to the doctor and get meds, that's fine. I don't. I look at see what those meds, there's effects. And you're like, what are the side effects? And they don't tell you about that, Okay, by the way, here's your pill for blood pressure, and by the way, the side effects are this. That's not how they do it. Here, take this for your blood pressure, and you're going to be A-okay. And then, of course, you ask, well, how long do I have to take this? Forever. If that's not residual income, I don't know what is. So, if you went to the doctor and he actually looked at your face, that would be wonderful. But most of the time, he's looking at a computer and he's typing in as fast as you can talk. I don't care for that. So I'd rather see holistic practitioners that care about you, that ask, so what's going on. People don't realize, your emotions play huge in your health. So, a homeopath will say, so is everything okay at home? You won't even ever get a doctor to say that to you, a Western medicine doctor to ask. They just, what have you been doing? Take this and take this. Okay, next. That's how they work.
Folks, again, Ronnie McMullen, getthetea.com. Just go to his website, www.getthetea.com. If you place an order in the coupon code, put my name, Paul. That way the shipping's free. Or pick up the phone if you want to call in your order. You can simply do that at 928-308-0408. And Ronnie, we really want to thank you. I know with this, I'm asking you about blood moons and blood water and plagues of locusts, but I think you helped us get through some of the things we need to know to be able to prepare for these the times we're in, ever changing.
I think, as you always practice, Pastor, I really believe that prayer, meditation is huge. In these times, we need to know, K-N-O-W, we need to know our God. And how do you know him unless you sit and listen? And sometimes just sitting, sometimes we pray and we talk and we pray and ask, and that's all good. But in my line, I think sometimes it's good to just sit down and close your eyes and listen. And you want to talk about getting rid of stress, there you go. So these are all good things.
Amen, amen. I'm going to put a big amen on that. Prayer changes things, and you're right. Sometimes you got to be still and wait upon the Lord, okay? And he'll renew your strength. Ronnie, God bless you. Thank you for being with us. And folks, next time we'll see you right here on the Coming Apocalypse.